So why should you stop letting people say, can I pick your brain? And why should you actually let them stop doing that? Well, today, Lisa Sasevich, she's the queen of sales conversion. She's going to talk about some of that, as well as some of her other awesome stuff from her new book, Meant for More. I'm really excited about this. I've followed Lisa's stuff for a long time, and we all want more. So I thought, well, let's talk to Lisa and see what that is, right? We all long for that. We want more impact, more success, more fulfillment, more abundance, more freedom, more joy, but it's often hard to fulfill this longing. We know someone has so much to offer the world, but who holds back and doesn't play full out because of fear. Their fear of failure, their fear of success, their fear of putting herself out there, fear of being perceived as pushy or full of himself. Maybe that's you. Today, we get to talk to Lisa Sasevich. As I said, she's the queen of sales conversion and the author of the new book, Meant for More, which I'm super jacked. I've got an advanced reading copy, and Lisa's got a hard copy finally, and she's here with us today. What's up, Lisa?
You know, with Amazon only shipping essentials, I'm really excited to know that this is an essential. I consider it an essential, and I'm going to tell you why. But super happy to be here and have brought my new baby, Meant for More. Had I known a year ago when I started writing it that this tagline, which you probably can't see, but I'll tell you what it says, the proven formula to turn your knowledge into profits, would be so needed right now. It feels like this foreshadowing, this gift from the upstairs team that this happens to be coming out now. Because let's face it, I mean, we can't even go outside, so you're right, in some of our towns, and it's really spreading very quickly that is the right thing to do. So we can't turn our labor into profits. We can't go drive an Uber right now when times are hard. Like all the things that we used to turn to aren't necessarily there, but what we all have is this. We have our knowledge. We have what we've acquired from formal education, school, where you get letters after your name, if you've done that. But if you haven't done that, no worries, because there's all the other schools you've been to. You've been to the school of hard knocks, right? That stuff that feels like a punch in the gut when it happens, but when you overcome it, you're a better person, you know more, you can help more people because of that journey. Like many of us have been to spiritual schools, things that, we learned or embraced along the way that have become, the ways that we win in life, the ways that we give more, attract more, create more. So all those schools together, they give you what we call your unique value. And we're going to talk about that more for sure.
That's great, Lisa. I'm so glad. Yeah, and it is super timely. When I first got reached out to about this and said, yes, I want to talk to Lisa, I was like, yeah, this is going to be a great book. Well, now, like all of my speaker friends are like, oh my goodness gracious, I need this now. And it's so interesting. And yet so many are letting people just kind of pick their brain. So why do we need to stop letting people ask us that? Why do we need to stop delivering on that? And why do we need to start valuing ourselves?
Well, let me tell you, first, I apologize. Of course, the one person working in our entire state is the gardener, and he's here now. So if you hear a little background noise, it's on me. My apologies. So I really appreciate that you brought this up, Phil. Clearly, you have already dug into Meant for More and the Meant for More formula. So inside this book is 5 steps. We call it the proven formula to turn your knowledge into profits. And by the way, if we haven't met before, the reason we can call it proven is because over the last 10 years, we've helped over 15,000 clients from 134 different countries. So this works all over the world, all the different languages, to be able to profit from their knowledge. So you're not my test rats. A lot of people have gone before you and created a ton of abundance for themselves. And So pick your brain. This is something Phil brought up. When we talk about your unique value, that which you were uniquely made for, that all the schools you've been to contribute to, another way I like to say it is your $1 million value. And a lot of our clients they've taken something that they know or that they've learned or that they've figured out and turned it into their $1 million value. So when we talk about that your unique value, there's some different ways that you can go about figuring out what yours is. And this is a really good time to do that kind of thinking and to start activating this in your life so that you can give more and receive more in return. And one of the ways that we talk about in the new book, Meant for More, that you can discover your unique value is you pay close attention to any time that someone has said to you, Phil, could I pick your brain about X, Y, or Z, right? People come to you, it usually is coupled with like a coffee date. Can I just take you to coffee? 20 minutes, they always say. I just want to pick your brain about how you're homeschooling your kids right now, or how you take care of your elderly parent, or how you've managed your finances so well, or how you flip houses, how you fill in the blanks, lost 20 pounds and kept it off. You all have something that you've overcome or that you've figured out or that you've been educated in. And when people want to pick your brain, it's a sign, it's a breadcrumb leading you to your unique value. Now, here's the challenge, and this is what Phil was referring to. There's actually a kind of a secret, devastating effect of letting people pick your brain over and over, especially in that one area that they keep asking about. What happens? You meet at that coffee date, they buy you $3.25 cup of coffee, and you are a giver, you are mission driven. So you pour into them. You tell them everything about how you managed your finances in this downturn, right? You share everything. And then they tool off, right? I mean, you're literally shoving 10 pounds of rice in a 5-pound bag. You're a giver. Then they go off and you notice what happens.
They don't do anything. That's usually what happens.
Yeah, they don't necessarily do anything with it. They don't really have skin in the game. They want to know how you lost the weight, but they don't go home and change their diet, right? And so, or how you have such a great relationship with your spouse, but they don't go home and practice the things that you said. So what happens when you continuously give like that from your heart so deeply, something so precious to you, and the people you give it to, that person does nothing with it? And that happens over and over, is it's very easy for you to falsely believe that it didn't have value. And so there are a whole bunch of folks walking around that have amazing value you could be paid for. You could create a new income stream and help a lot of people, but somewhere you don't really think it's worth that much because you've been giving it away for free. And of course, they don't have any skin in the game. You may have heard this saying, when they pay attention. So if that very same person had invested with you, invested in themselves through you, if they had paid for your coaching, paid for your advice, you betcha there's a much higher chance that they would be out there actually using it. And then you would be experiencing, oh, my advice does have value. I really could help a lot more people and take care of my family, have a lot more to give.
Yeah, really, really important. And I think, is that why one of the big chapters in your book and one of the important things is you talk about the first person you have to sell is yourself? Because I see that happens a lot of times, right? That self-doubt happens in the folks that I coach and the folks that I talk to too. They're like, no, I'm not really sure. And then they value it at nothing, or they want a free, and then they wonder why they don't have any cash. Is that what you're talking about there?
Yeah, it's a piece of it for sure. So step one in the Meant for More formula is you've got to make peace with sales. Step two is discovering your unique value. So we're going backwards here today, but everything's backwards right now. So let's just go with it. But I love that you went in that order because, you may discover your unique value and realize that you really have something to give. I mean, I have a gal who was a high school college counselor for 25 years. Helped high schoolers figure out the college process, but one counselor with thousands of kids. And then she read the book Meant for More. She went through the formula, went through the steps, and she got out there and realized that she had knowledge that people wanted. People always wanted to pick her brain about, how do you get the college of your choice? So now she's created something called College Prep Roadmap. She organized what she knew. And just recently, she retired from the school of 25 years. She's offering her own trainings and teaching and really, really doing something good for people and creating abundance for herself. But why I bring her up Doreen is because, like almost everyone that reads Meant for More and gets on the Meant for More journey, she would not consider herself a salesperson, right? She's an educator. She's a high school college counselor. And so many of the people who've used this formula are in health or wellness or spirituality, right, would not consider themselves a salesperson. And you don't need to. It's really about making peace with sales. It was about Doreen understanding that once she saw her unique value, that if she could turn it into what we call an irresistible offer, and that's actually the fourth step in the book. How do you turn it into an offer? So you'll get all that when you grab Meant for More. At your favorite bookseller, it's available for you. So go get it. Get two. Everyone says they always give the one they're reading away because there they look across the kitchen table and there's that person they love, their husband, their aunt, who's meant for more. So they say, get two, get one for you and one to give. And so when Doreen made peace with sales, that it was really about having an offer that would be irresistible, then she could really get out there with her unique value and make a bigger difference. And let's face it, we're all selling all the time. I mean, look, we're home, at this time right now, as we are recording this, a lot of us are at home in quarantine with our family, with our friends. We're doing a lot virtually. There's a lot of sales, or you could call it invitations, or you could call it enrollment going on. I know we're on spring break right now, but last week, getting my kids to sit down from 8 to 2 and do homeschool, I really had to pull out some of my best irresistible offers right there.
That's funny. Yeah, kids definitely push our boundaries there on how irresistible we can make that. But how do we come up with that, Lisa? How do we unpack that a little bit more and help people get started on that road?
Well, the first step is really about understanding your unique value. It's step 2 in the book because I need you to be open that once we find this, you are going to make an offer. But let me give you a couple more tips today, Phil, on how to start finding that unique value. And then there's 2 steps you'll want to take. The first is go get yourself 2 copies of Meant for More today. Really, it is in stock at Amazon. They'll be shipping it out the door on April 14th. You want to get your order in now, like anything essential. You want to get your order in now. So get yourself 2 copies. And then while you're waiting for it, you can go to, as you see on the screen, meantformoregift.com. And there's a course there that I want to gift to you for being here with Phil and I today called Discover Your Unique Value. Now, we were going to sell this course for $500. We were going along business as usual, building the course, the first thing you do after the book. But when everything started to change in the world the way that it has right now, I realized one of the biggest gifts I can give with my knowledge is to help you figure out your unique value. So we're giving this away right now at meantformoregift.com. So while you're waiting for your book to arrive, you can dive into your unique value. Now that's step 2 in the formula. You're going to want to get the book so you can go back, make peace with sales. And then once you know your unique value, let me show you how to turn it into an offer that people will thank you for and pay you for. So those are the steps. Go get the book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, then go to meantformoregift.com, put in your name, your email, enter that. You'll get an email from us with your access code into our paid online business academy for this $500 program that hopefully you've got some time to, you are your biggest asset. You've got some time to invest in you. Because, my philosophy is you want to look back on this time and you want to be proud of what you did with it, right? 3 weeks from now or 3 months from now, you want to look back and say, I am really proud of how I grew. I'm proud of the advancements I made that I'm going to have forever. I wasn't just glued to the news and social media. I got my 30-minute updates twice a day. That's the diet I'm on. 30-minute updates twice a day. And then the rest of the time I was helping, I was growing, I was developing myself. It's the number one thing you can do for yourself and for your family. Yeah. So I'd love to offer some other ways you can start right now to discover your unique value. So the first one is the one Phil brought up. If people want to pick your brain, that's a clue. Here's another one, an easy one. They're easy and they're fun, but they're important. Where is it that things are easy for you, but really baffle others? They're hard for others. So what are those areas where you figure it out in a snap, but people are always asking you how you did that? Mine is making offers. I love to make my irresistible offer. I think it's a disservice not to. But for most people, they're like, I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be salesy. So, we've done over $40 million of sales right here from home while I was raising my kids. They were 1 and 3 years old when I started this. By me taking that area that's easy for me, but hard for others. And with the Meant for More formula, you can find that area that's easy for you, but hard for others, and really turn it into something special. So that's the second thing. Number one, where do people want to pick your brain? Number two, where is it that there's an area that's easy for you, hard for others?
Awesome. Awesome. Great. Great.
I have a third, but
you got a third? You got more? Okay.
One more. This one's just fun. This one's just fun. Phil, I'll ask you, have you ever had an area where you just couldn't not meddle? You know, like you see something happening and you can't not help. It's how you love. It may seem like meddling to people, but it's how you give. It's how you love. Like here's an example for me. I had a practice marriage in my 20s. It didn't last very long, but one of my gifts is to take the complex and make it simple. So I would do that all the time and organize things in our household. And I remember there was a point where he finally just blurted out and called me Mrs. Better Way, because no matter what he did, I had a better way. And that's kind of the clue on this third one is, where is an area that no matter what, you're Mr. Better Way. You've got a better way.
That's really funny. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I mean, certainly sometimes I think, when it comes to some of the ways that people market or they do technology, often that ends up coming through. So that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's actually, I believe that's the case because we're only just getting to know each other. But even before we went live here with everyone, Phil was gifting me with some knowledge about how to use this platform we're on called StreamYard. Like behind the scenes, it's what we're using. I've known him for 10 minutes on this video. At that moment, we had been live for 10 minutes, and he says, well, you can do this and you can do this, and then I'm thinking, there it is. It's how he loves. It's how he contributes to me. So, and it's probably a big reason a lot of you are here is the way that he contributes to you in that area. So great example of a Meant for More journey happening right before our eyes.
Cool. That's cool. So that makes sense. And that when you say it, it seems very obvious, right? It's obvious to me once you say it, but before you did, it really wasn't there in front of me. So when we have that irresistible offer, I mean, are there some parts that make it irresistible, Lisa, and maybe things that repel people from it becoming irresistible?
Well, there's when we get into the fourth step in the Meant for More formula, which really is the content. If you're just joining us, my new book, Meant for More, contains the 5-step formula to turn your knowledge into profits. And step 4 is, how do you make an offer that's truly irresistible? And we talk about, how do you take that knowledge that is your unique value and really package it into something that you can offer. And we talk about some different things that I want you to keep a look for when you get the book. And some of the things are called distinguishing the main dish from the bonus and the limiter. Now, the main dish is that main transformation that you provide. So once you know your unique value, like for me, I know it's in the area of making offers and in helping people sell without being salesy. That's what I've been doing for the last decade. And so when we look to see how would I package that into an offer, we'd say, well, what's the main dish? Like, how do you help people sell without being salesy? And so part of developing that is an exercise that you'll see. And by the way, once you have the Meant for More book, it's going to give you a guideline to go to a special URL and download a workbook, because it's not just a book you lay back and read. It's really a book that's active, an active discovery process. And what we do is we help you take that knowledge and figure out what's the main dish, like what's the main transformation that you want people to start with. So for us, it's called Nail Your Offer. First thing I need from people is, how do they nail that offer where they love it and the people who need them love it? And so our main dish is helping people nail their offer. It's the first thing we do. And then once you know what you're offering, and do you want to offer it through virtual coaching like this, where we could help someone virtually? It's kind of all the rage right now. Even fitness trainers are doing their coaching virtually. When the time allows and we can do this again, do you want to offer it through maybe a live setting, live meetings, live events, live workshops? Is it something you want to learn how to offer online? So knowing your offer is the first step to being able to then figure out how you're going to deliver your offer. So these are all the different things that we share, different stories of different kind of businesses, and really show you how to unpack. But it all has to start with discovering your unique value. I mean, that is, then we turn, here's the phases, Phil. First, you discover your unique value. And again, you can start on that today at meantformoregift.com. Get started on that while you're waiting for the book to come. Once you know your unique value, the second phase is, how do I turn it into an offer that's irresistible? And we call that's our starter program, Nail Your Offer. And you'll learn more about that as you go through the Meant for More process. And then once you know your offer, then the third phase is, how do I sell the offer? We call that Build Your Love Your Life Sales Machine. And that's where we have all kinds of structures, courses, programs to help you depending on how you want to get the offer out there. One-on-one, do you want to get it out there through speaking? Phil and I have actually, crossed paths over the years because both of us like to get our work out there through speaking, as is evidenced here. Are you somebody that wants to learn how to do that online? So that's kind of the progression of the growth path on the Meant for More journey.
Excellent. Makes a lot of sense. Very linear there. Process we can follow. So what are some of the pitfalls that we need to make sure that we avoid, Lisa, so that we don't get trapped? Because I know a lot of times, we're going to get stuck. We're going to maybe not move forward as fast as we like, or make some excuses for why success doesn't happen. What might some of those pitfalls be, and how do we help overcome them that you've seen?
Yeah, well, we talked about the one, which is, continuously giving your value away for free, letting people pick your brain, and then feeling like what you have that's super valuable, you might falsely think that it isn't. So that's one. Another thing that I'm seeing right now that's very timely is that there, if you're here, my assertion is that you have something you can help with. You have knowledge that you can be helping people with. Families need help right now. Couples need help right now. People need help in their finances. People need help in well-being and wealth and communication and spirituality. Like, I can't think of one thing that every single one of us that's here right now has to offer that wouldn't be even exponentially needed right now. And I think one of the pitfalls that I'm seeing in this very moment is people who can help, but inside they're thinking, I don't want to be an opportunist. I know I can help, but with things being tough the way they are, I don't want to seem like an opportunist. And I want to say, I think that's a mistake. I think it's a disservice, that it's not about being an opportunist. It's really about taking this opportunity to get out there in a bigger way, to help even more people than you could have 2 weeks ago. So I saw this when I first started my business 10 years ago, and people had something to offer, but they weren't making their offer because they didn't want to be pushy or salesy. It was the same thing. And once they came onto our campus and realized, oh, wow, it's really a disservice to hold back my offer, and got out there using our strategies and using our tools, their life changed, and the people that they could help change. And it's a very similar feeling. So if you know you could be helping more people right now, but you're holding back because you're worried about being seen as an opportunist, please know it's a disservice to hold back. People need you, and the people that need you, they will thank you for it. They'll thank you for coming out about the way you can help. Yeah.
Wonderful. Cool. Well, I'm excited for folks to get a copy of the book. You said they should get two, right, of the Meant for More book. You can get the gift now at Meant for More gift, which is fun. There you go, copies, right? So that's fun. They can do that. And Lisa, is there if they want to ask questions, or they want to go a little deeper and connect more with you on social, is there a favorite channel that you have that they can connect with you at?
There's a couple different things you can do. So any of the social channels, just at Lisa Sasevich. So, and there's no T in my last name. It's Sasevich. You got that right, Phil, just like you see it there. So any of the social channels, definitely you can join us on Facebook. I think you can even go to lisasasevichfan.com, and it'll take you right to our main page. The other thing you can do is, after you get your copy of Meant for More, so go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your favorite bookseller in your state or country. After you've done that, save your order number. And if you go to lisasasevich.com, you'll see a tab where you can click Meant for More. If you enter your order number, we have over $1,000 of complimentary training that you will get as my thank you for starting yourself on the Meant for More journey. So the steps, you go get the book, and then go to lisasasevich.com, go to the tab called Meant for More, enter your order number there, and you're going to get not only the Discover Your Unique Value training. The other thing I'm putting up right now, and it's not public yet, but I'm going to tell you guys, so go ahead and get in there, is I have arranged with our publisher, Hay House, and this is very untraditional, but we are in unprecedented times, that if you go ahead and get the hard copy today, you are going to get the audiobook free. Okay, now that never happens. Usually the audiobooks are released further down the line, but we know people want to start listening right now, and Hay House knows how important that is. So when you buy the book, you go to lisasasevich.com, you enter your order number under the Meant for More tab, you're going to get entered into our online business academy, and there you're going to find, I already recorded it myself, it came out great. If you like audiobooks, you're going to get to start listening to that right away. You're also going to get entered into a Facebook challenge that I'll be doing starting in May, where I'll be supporting you. There'll be live calls with me. So we just want to get you on the journey, because your number one asset that you have right now to be able to make a difference, to help, and to create income is your knowledge. So let's harvest that. And I really appreciate your support. I appreciate the work you're doing here, Phil, to just bring important resources to everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you, for a time when you're managing your family and, all the things going on in your life, that you would take the time to bring this to your listeners. I really, really appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure, Lisa. Well, it's great to chat. Folks, if you want to do more, right? If you want to turn your knowledge into profits, this is the book for you, Meant for More. Check out meantformorebook.com. Go get a couple copies of that. Get to know Lisa Sasevich. She's got lots of great stuff, folks. Stop letting people pick your brain. Turn your knowledge into profits and get a copy of Meant for More. Thanks for spending some of your day with us. Thank you, Lisa, for being here. We'll see you soon, folks. Thanks again.